headed by former President Goodluck Jonathan, what he did was that he brought in people who were bringing foreign templates on our domestic circumstances. People who know next to nothing about what is happening with our economic atmosphere. They are now bringing what happened abroad, and they now want to foist that on us. No. Economic theory that works in Britain or in America cannot work here. We need to understand our own local circumstances and do what can help our economy to grow. Because you can look at the propensity of people to save in the banks. It's not the same thing as abroad. And also the ability of people to get loan is not the same thing as abroad. Then you need to look at all these things. What are the things that people will need? How do we produce this? So you try to encourage production in areas where people need, especially the masses.
But we still have problem with power.
That is one of the problems. Do you know that this devaluation of currency or this poor naira value has affected this power supply? This is because the equipment being used to generate electricity, to transmit, and to distribute, we don't do them here. We are not fabricating them here. We need to import them.
They have to be imported.
So if therefore the cost of this equipment is so high,
the tariff will be high.
Yeah, it's exorbitant. So definitely the tariffs will be high. But if it is possible that the rate of exchange is lower, they're going to get this equipment and also encourage local producers to fabricate them. If it is transformer, our people can fabricate. That's why we have machine tools in Oshobo. We have steel rolling mills and the rest. You can bring all these things together and encourage them. But if you do not have opportunity of getting these things because of prohibitive exchange rate, but what they want to do now is to make it prohibitive, so that you now need 400 naira to buy $1. Maybe that is the thinking of these bankers. So it's not fair. So what we need is to make naira have value. And once it has value, it will help. Like I said earlier, you don't even need to import certain things because of the advantage that we have in this country. Because of our population. People outside, maybe whether it is auto industries or name it, garment industry, all these things that will go abroad to buy, they will bring them here. We can now make Nigeria economic hub, encourage people to come here because you have surplus market.
Well, the former president did take some economic steps then. He did say that auto plants should be here.
Yes. This is one thing. Investors will not be encouraged to come to a country where their currency does not have value. Investors will always want to go to a country where they know that when they make their earnings locally, this thing could not be too far from what they can exchange their distance to. Otherwise, we'll be looking for portfolio investors here.
So that was a 2-step forward and 5 backwards.
Yes, 5 backwards. Because if you bring investors in, and investors know that if I invest here, at the end of the day, the dollar that I have brought will now come down to something that is worthless. If I therefore want to get it back and repatriate my fund to my country, I will not be able to get it at that amount. No investor will come to such an economic distance, except those whom we call portfolio investors.
So our foreign direct investment is equally affected with this policy?
FDI is affected by this devaluation. Because no sane investor will come to a country and invest where their currency does not have value. Most people rush to Ghana between 2008 and now. Most investors rush to Ghana, including our own companies here in Nigeria, because of one thing. CD that used to be useless now became valuable. So if you revalue naira, investors will definitely come. They will troop in because they know that they will have profit from their investment. Their investment decisions would be profitable.
And even when they convert, it will make some sense.
Yeah, it will be the same thing. But what you are saying is that if I should bring my pounds here, if I should bring my dollars here and invest, at the end of the day, I will get pittance for it. I mean, nobody will want to come except they want to deceive themselves. So this is what these bankers need to understand. And even in the banks today, they are bearing the brunt. And maybe one of the ways by which they want to get their, to circumvent the situation in which they have found themselves is to now say, okay, let us devalue further. Because when you now devalue further, you now have more of people by the roadside selling foreign currency. I'm saying this, it is only in Nigeria that you see people in the streets selling foreign currencies. In most countries I've visited, I cannot see them. What you need to do is, if you want to buy, if you want to change your money, you go to reputable bureau de change, and they give you the official rate. You look at it and you buy.
Isn't that what Emefiele was trying to do the other time?
Buy.
With the bureau de change outlets.
He wanted to do it, but he could not do it because most of them, I'm not accusing him, most of them are owners of these BDCs. You know, they are only trying to be clever by half. But what we are saying in essence is that you should be able to say, I'm traveling abroad, or I want to get something that I cannot get in Nigeria abroad. And you go to the bank and you change your money there, instead of you looking for somebody by the roadside at the black market. You can simply change your money at official rate. Or, since we are talking of this cashless policy, we can as well use our card to make payment. Then all the CBN needs to do is to track transactions.
And convert it.
Yes, and convert it. When you track these transactions, you now know that it's a legitimate transaction. If you want to do anything, let the Central Bank of Nigeria know that this thing that you are buying abroad is not on the is on the list of essential things that you can buy, and it has to be at official rate. Otherwise, people will just be going to the CBN to buy dollars, and at the end of the day, go around and be selling it by the roadside.
I was even going to say that oftentimes when you go to banks, you hardly get dollars there.
No, you don't. Even if they want to give it to you, they will ask you to say, okay, if you are traveling, you have to bring your passport, the visa, and once they see it, they now give you 4,000 maximum as a BTA, $4,000 maximum. And if you now look at that 4,000 naira, something may not be sufficient. But you cannot go to the bank now to say you want to import equipment for your agriculture, and you now get it. No, you will not be able to get that one. And again, the CBN is doing something again, dollarization of the naira, whereby they get all these our revenues. They capture our revenues in dollars, and you know what they do?
They convert it to
naira. Naira that has been devalued. So what you are saying is that that revenue that you have got that has value, you have now brought it down to the mat. So that when it is not valued, you now share that naira to the states. The states that are already dying because of bankruptcy. So these are things that I believe the new National Economic Council should be able to look into seriously and monitor this expenditure. You know, when you monitor the expenditure, you monitor the importation processes, you monitor the export businesses, and you also create a checklist for all the things that can generate revenue for Nigeria. Not that we just be looking at oil alone and lose sight of other areas where we can generate revenue. Let everything be brought out so that we look at the revenue and we now look at what comes from oil, what comes from bitumen, what comes from gas, what comes from other mineral resources, what comes from the port, what of Corporate Affairs Commission. Do you know how much they get every day? So let all these funds, everything that they make, should go straight to the federation accounts and now monitor it from there. And the CBN should be able to cooperate with the government in terms of fixing a reasonable exchange rate, not devaluing it. It is unreasonable to devalue naira further. It should be revalued.
Okay. Kunle Rotimi on the call by bank CEOs that the nation's currency before the devalued, and he did say that that should be a no-go area if indeed we have the interest of this economy at heart. Thank you very much for coming on the program today. Okay, unfortunately, Mr. Samuel Sadaisi could not make it to the program today. My name is Ajibola Ojeshola. Join us again next week at 3 p.m. for another interesting topic on Investment Cafe. See you then.
Has always been upright. We have always done our work diligently. The other members that are joining us are from the PDP, and I believe that we'll work together to move the state forward. The APC is the largest number at the House. We have 32 APC members, 8 PDP members. So you see that there are a minority.
8 PDP members in the 8th Assembly.
In the 8th Assembly. We've had 3 PDP members before in 2003, and we were able to work with them. At the end of the day, some of them, they come to the APC. I believe that, then we were AC, sorry. But I believe that the legislative arm, we're supposed to make laws that would impact the society. We have oversight functions on the ministries, and we're also supposed to appreciate the budget of the state. I feel that with the 8 PDP members coming in, we'll work together as a team to move Lagos State forward. The APC, our policy is not to victimize or witch hunt or ill-treat any individual, but to make sure that the dividends of democracy comes to every single local government area in Lagos State. And we must appreciate the fact that we understand how when the PDP-led government was being very, very mean, let me put it that way, to Lagos State, depriving of allocation when we created the LCDAs. And, you know, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is a resourceful leader, had to manage Lagos State without the allocation from the federal government to the local governments. I mean, we were starved of funds, but we were able to function. So we understand how it is for a PDP-led government to ill-treat an APC state, and we're not going to ill-treat our local governments. We are representatives of the whole of Lagos State, and we shall work together to move Lagos State forward. Obviously, the leader of the House of Assembly is going to be an APC member, and the leadership of the House will actually set a good example for everybody to emulate. And of course, if the PDP members want to decamp, you know, they're welcome. They're welcome.
Okay, is it true that experience is very important when it comes to lawmaking? And
Definitely.
Is it also true again that you're also aspiring to be the Speaker of the House?
Yes, both are very true. Experience counts. You must be a legislator that understands why you are a legislator, understands the rule of lawmaking, appreciates the fact that laws are not made for individuals, but for the community, for the country, for the state. And the experience is good in that you are able to manage your colleagues, you are able to manage the constituencies, you are able to, whatever it is that you are bringing to your own constituency, be fair and make sure that other constituencies are also carried along. Because when you overpack your own constituency anyway, people will want to migrate to that particular constituency. And we want there to be a balance. We want people in as far as Badagry, Ikorodu, Epe, to have, you know, development in those areas. That's why we have rural ministry that deals with those kind of things. And definitely, yes, I believe that I am competent, I'm capable, and I have the experience that is needed to lead the Lagos State House of Assembly as Speaker.
Can you manage it, so to say?
Definitely. You know, women were very good managers of our homes. A woman that can stay married for many, many years, 20 years, 30 years, and is able to manage her home, manage her children, make sure her children are successful. The hand that rocks the cradle definitely rules the world. And definitely, as a woman that has the qualification, the experience, I'm a legal practitioner by profession. I have a degree in biology. I have a master's degree in law. I'm doing my preliminaries in the PhD program at the University of Lagos in law. And I have been in the House of Assembly since 2003. I've been Deputy Chief Whip in 2003. Way back then, I was Deputy Speaker in 2007. I'm now the Chairman of the Finance. Finance is actually the lifeline of any state, any government, and I believe that I've handled those positions very well. I thank my constituents for supporting me all the way. It's not easy to represent your constituency this long. There are only 3 people that are doing that so far, myself and 2 other members who are male. And I believe that Lagos State is right for a woman to become the Speaker of the House of Assembly.
Shino, do you feel the same way too? A female Speaker in the Lagos State House of Assembly?
I think, interestingly, I have a bias for men folk. As an undergraduate, I was the state PRO of women in Nigeria in Kwara State. In my career in the civil society, whatever we are doing, whenever we are setting the stage, we look around and say, where is the space for the women? We must provide a space for women. And we don't render positions like assistant secretary for women. We don't. That visible position. In my generation as a student, we had the first NANS female president. We had severally women that are PRO of NANS, severally. We don't relegate assistant position, those visible positions, president, secretary, PRO, are things we push women for. And I have worked with women consistently and I enjoy it. By the grace of God, tomorrow afternoon, I'll be in a midst of women thinking how best the civil society and public officers can utilize the society to the maximum. In fact, if I'm asked to contribute money for a project, if it is the one that we advance the cause of women food, my contribution will quickly come. Because at the end of the day, if you have a woman as a chief driver, you have comfort. All those scheming women do go down. I don't want to sound patronizing, but I know what Honorable Tejosho did with the
domestic violence.
Domestic violence. Initially, when she brought it up, nobody wanted to touch the bill. People could not even understand it. But gradually, she started lobbying, she moved around, and the men folk started joining. And then they then understood too that, oh, this language is a language that must be